today's episode of Theater Geek, we get into more advanced blocking. Your host for Theater Geek, the show that brings you the tips and techniques you need to jumpstart your theater career. On today's episode, we're going to get into more advanced theater blocking. What does it mean when the director asks you to upstage or downstage an actor? What happens if your stage looks like this as opposed to this? The 9 basic stage directions we covered in last week's episode of blocking is not going to be enough to navigate yourself around that kind of stage. So if you haven't already, because we're going to be building off of the 9 basic stage directions that we covered in last week's episode, you might want to check it out. Here's the link for that. And basically, if you weren't there and just kind of want to know what we covered, we covered the 9 basic stage directions, which are up left, up center, up right, right, center stage, left, down, center, and down right. Are the basic stage directions we locked. So if you're already familiar with those and already know about those, then don't worry about it. If you would like to get a look at the graph that we made based off of last week's episodes, check out our Facebook page here for the link to that. Anyways, so on today's episode, we're going to get into advanced blocking. So if the stage looks like this and it's got hundreds of platforms all over it, you're going to want to know what side of the platform you're going to be standing on. You know, what platform are you on? Are you on the actual stage? You know, sometimes, you know, where you're standing is so weird that instead of just writing down an abbreviated stage direction, you're going to have to draw a little graph. You know, these don't have to be fancy. They could look something like this. I mean, I do all that all the time in my notebook. Sometimes I just have to draw it out. Or, you know, write in there that says I'm standing between these two people in this area and, like, draw little circles for heads of, you know, where people are standing, like a bird's eye view, you know. Whatever works best for you. If you have platforms, generally what I like to do, I was stage manager for a show that had a lot of platforms on it. So basically what we did is we went through and we named all, I think there was 8 platforms. There was 6 platforms. So we just named them all platform A, B, C, D, and F. E and F. So you can name them by alphabets or letters, or, you know, even name them, give them a name, you know, and then you can just write up left on platform E, you know, cross to down left on platform F, you know. That helps get around the platform area to where it can actually be a help instead of a hindrance. Sometimes, though, if you have so many platforms in the show, it gets a little confusing to have so many with different names, especially in the beginning of the show when you're writing down some of the blocking. So generally put like a graph of the stage after it's switched. Sometimes there's stage settings and the platforms change and they'll go off stage and come back on. So then if you're a stage manager, you can write platform F goes off stage. A lot of times when this kind of stuff happens, though, you really have to write down graphs, which is why I always on my scripts, especially when I'm stage managing a show, hole punch the weird side of my papers so that the blank page, when you flip it over, is always on the right side. So I hole punch the right side of my pages so that the words are on the left and the blank pages are on the right, so I can draw graphs and things more easily. And then when I get into the actual production, I have to write in the lighting cues, then I have the left side of the page to put those in neatly. And we'll do an episode on that after our series on blocking is over, on how to write in lighting and sound cues appropriately. So anyways, upstaging and downstaging an actor. If a director tells you, I want you to cross center, and then you walk in and say you walk behind an actor, that is considered to be upstaging. If the director says, I want you to try this again and I want you to downstage so-and-so, that would mean that you would either walk in front of, which is be the downstage, you would walk downstage of them, or the downstage side like this, or you would upstage them. This can also be used for stage positioning, so like, I want you to upstage your downstage, you know, if you're just standing still, you know, that could be where you're just standing. So just know that upstaging is upstaging somebody, downsstaging is downsstaging somebody. If you have more questions about that, just let me know, but it seems pretty self-explanatory. And so upstaging, downsstaging, platforms. We'll get into stage management, how to write down blocking for everybody and for the tech and where everything goes next week, the stage management side of blocking. So actors, what else do you need to know? Crossing. Crossing is just when they say cross from here to here, that should be self-explanatory. You know, you walk across the stage from stage left to stage right. I want you to cross from stage left to stage right. That's what that means. There's abbreviation for that, which is just basically an X. Cross. I'll post a little example for you guys. Some blocking sheets and stuff I did for a show with platforms, just so you can kind of get it and understand what that looks like. So that's a little bit about working with platforms. It seems simple enough. I'm a visual person, so I'll post stuff like that to our Facebook page. Here's the link to our Facebook page, which is also in our comments, is more in our description, as a direct link where you can just click on it and it'll take you there. Here, once again, here's a link to our Facebook page where we'll post. I'll post some of the blocking notes that I took. Once again, it really helps. You know, a director told me to do this when I did my first stage management show, which is, you know, hole punching. You know, when you put in folders when you put in a script into a 3-ring binder, you generally think, oh, I'm gonna hole punch, you know, the left side of the paper. Always hole punch the right side of the paper. It makes so much more sense, because then when you flip it over, you know, the words are on the left side, which you generally don't touch that much, and so you can reach over that way. That's for right-handed people. If you're left-handed, do it the other way around, so that whatever hand you have is the blank paper, because it always makes it easier to do the drawings and stuff. And I don't know, that just helps me. It might help you, it might not. Let me know your thoughts. Anyways, that's that. And next week we'll be covering the stage management side of blocking. And let me know if y'all have any questions. And then, yeah, we'll start getting into some more stage management stuff, because that seems what you might be more interested in, is some of the backstage things. I could be wrong. Let me know. Let me know on Facebook what you guys want to know. I'll post something that says, what do you want to learn, or something dorky like that. But, you know, you never know. So get into some of the stage management, you know, how to write down for everybody, and then how to write in lighting cues and sound cues. Anyways, have a great week, and I'll see you all next Monday. And until then, check out our Facebook page and let me know any questions you have, and feel free to comment and subscribe and all that jazz, and see you next week. Bye.